There has been a lot of talk on the internet that the fans are turning on Cody Rhodes all because he's guilty of not being Sami Zayn. However, this is simply not the case, and thinking that this is true is bad. So this video is all about addressing why Cody Rhodes is not the new Roman Reigns, why this nonsense is spreading, and why it's a problem. Because today... Okay, so first, for the uninitiated, and if you haven't heard of this silly rumor yet, I apologize for being the one to introduce it to you. I'm really disappointed in myself. Anyhow, for the uninitiated, it has been said by some people on the internet that Cody Rhodes is the new Roman Reigns, and that the fans are turning on him simply because he's not Sami Zayn, just like they turned on Roman way back when he won the Royal Rumble when the fans really wanted Daniel Bryan. Okay, so where to even begin with this one? Alright, first off, Roman Reigns wasn't even Roman Reigns. I already did a whole video about why the Roman Daniel Bryan fiasco is way overblown. You can watch that video later on if you like. Okay, so that's first. Because Cody is super over, unlike Roman when he won the Rumble. People just gotta understand that the fans didn't like Roman because they didn't like Roman. They didn't hate him because of Daniel Bryan. And if you're going to say that the reason why their reactions are different is because Sami Zayn wasn't in the Royal Rumble, well then allow me to defer you to Batista, who won the year before Roman and got booed so much that he started becoming known as Bootista. And if you remember, Daniel Bryan wasn't in that Royal Rumble match. The point is, as over as Sami Zayn is, and he is tremendously over, if the fans really were that set on him, Cody wouldn't be getting massive pops just like Batista didn't. Furthermore, unlike Roman, Cody is still getting cheered, especially after his promo on the Monday after. Now to be clear, again, I can't stress enough that Sami Zayn is of course over like there's no tomorrow. And yes, he does have similarities to Daniel Bryan. But I also have to point out, as much as the internet doesn't seem to understand this, people are capable of liking more than one thing. Remember, people who are complaining on the internet make up a very, very small amount of the fan base out there. For whatever reason, whenever you hear online discussions, people just love making sure that everything is on one side of the line or the other. Call it tribalism, call it partisan, whatever you want to call it. Arguments on the internet usually devolve to you either being on this side or that side, and 100% of the way with no wiggle room. But in reality, most people can handle multifaceted ideas. They're capable of liking multiple things simultaneously, and they don't hate one thing just because they like something else. But that leads me to the next part of this equation. The internet is just one big sewing circle. It just loves gossip. And the internet wrestling community is no exception to this, as many members particularly love playing armchair booker. Now, there's nothing wrong with fantasy booking, as that's just good creative fun. It doesn't hurt anyone, and anybody can think of a storyline that they would like to see. However, things do become somewhat of an issue when fans start pretending like they know what it's like to actually work in the industry. But that doesn't stop the dirt sheets and other people on the internet from exploiting how much fans want to feel like they're on the inside. So they push false narratives and give fans tidbits that feel like privileged inside information, even when it's complete bunk. But is this a problem? Well, that leads us to... Now, I shouldn't have to say this, but obviously enough, clickbait is bad. Media giving us false information is not a good thing, and unfortunately, people's patterns are really hard to change. Just look at the falsely reported WWE sale. While it was completely untrue, there were a lot of people online that reported it as if it was. And after it was proven to be false, we got next to nothing in the way of retractions or apologies, despite how much we were owed. And yet, this changed nothing. The people who already didn't like the dirt sheets just kept on not liking them. And as for the people who regularly receive wrestling news, even if they were lied to, they still kept on going to the same sources, because people just don't change their behaviors, even if they're supposed to. Furthermore, it appears that some of the people who were most adamant about spreading this rumor just so happen to be hardcore AEW marks, who might just be a little butthurt that Cody left their favorite promotion, and therefore have a vested interest in ruining his WrestleMania moment. Do you remember about a year ago when all those same AEW fans swore that Cody was so desperate to be liked, even though he never never could be because he's a terrible babyface? My, what difference a year makes. And worse still, the bigger problem is, just like with a lot of rumors, as Michael Jackson was saying, the lie becomes the truth. While the fans are not currently turning on Cody Rhodes right now, that doesn't mean they might not later on, especially if a lot of people keep believing that this is actually what's going on. If people keep saying that fans are turning on Cody Rhodes because they wanted Sami Zayn to win, eventually they might just start doing that. Let's look at last Friday's SmackDown, where the fans were booing while Roman Reigns was saying that he wanted to talk about Cody Rhodes, who won the Royal Rumble. Now sure, they were booing Roman because he's the bad guy. They weren't booing Cody. Again, remember how over he was during his speech on Raw. But that doesn't mean that this can't change, and if it does, we, the fans, will end up costing ourselves a great WrestleMania moment, and will be preventing ourselves from liking yet another wrestler. And as far as I'm concerned, having more wrestlers to like is a good thing. So please, stop spreading this false narrative that the fans are turning on Cody Rhodes because of Sami Zayn, as ultimately, it's really just hurting ourselves. Thanks so much for watching this video. Please make sure you hit like and make sure that you're subscribed, and as always, Dave knows.